Well, in today's episode of Leanne McAdoo is Never Having Children, I've got a story coming out of Heat Street for you. Primary school children, British primary school kids, some of them as young as 7 years old, are soon going to be instructed to stop using the words boys and girls. Instead, they'll be taught terms like genderqueer and intersex. They're going to frown upon words such as ladies and gents, and boys and girls are going to be taught to use terms such as cisgender, which is the opposite of transgender. And they're really trying to push back and frown upon this idea that in school you need to call someone only one of two genders, boy or girl. They're frowning upon this notion. Science does not matter here. It's people's feelings and how do they feel. Do they feel like a girl but really they're a boy, and goes on like that. So this is a book called Can I Tell You About Gender Diversity? It's distributed by Educate and Celebrate, which is a charity ultimately funded by the British taxpayer, and their goal is to make educational institutions LGBT friendly, eradicate homophobia, biphobia, and transphobia from our schools and communities. So they're going to be teaching these kids, some of them as young as 7 years old, about intersex, genderqueer. Frankly, I don't even really know what those terms mean, but they're also teaching them about panromantics, which are people who want romantic relationships with people of all gender identities. And let's not forget, they were really pushing pedophilia as a different type of gender and sexuality. So a panromantic, if you're a pedophile. But it doesn't stop there. It's just not just propagating to the young kids. No, it's coming out of Oxford as well. These are now Oxford students who are getting this leaflet that's being passed around by the union, insisting that students refer to one another as Z rather than he or she. This is due to this total gender-neutral phenomenon, these pronouns, asking people what pronoun they prefer to be called. So, I mean, these are now we're moving out of preferred pronouns into neo-pronouns, using the word Z, and don't even be insulted if someone asks you what your preferred pronoun is. But the reason why this is so key is this is happening at Oxford. And Oxford is the world's oldest English-speaking university. Everyone has heard of the Oxford English Dictionary. So this is a school with one of the most widely recognized custodians of the language that we use. And now they are telling their students, these probably SJW students there at the student union, are really pushing this idea that instead of he or she, we should all be saying Z. So this is pretty extreme. We'll stay abreast of these stories and just make sure that this kind of lunacy doesn't trickle down to the students here in the US. I'm Leanne McAdoo reporting. Stay tuned to Infowars.com for more reports.